Hi guys, this is a second training video for Revit Lite using the OSB Studio, or sorry, OBS Studio video software. So I've created a second project, or a project which is basically similar to the first project you saw in the first video. So I'm just going to load that up here. And in this software, you should see the webcam icon, the webcam image that's down on the lower right-hand corner of the screen. In this OBS suite, I kind of like the way that you can move around the webcam image to be where you want it to be. In the first one, Filmora, that one seemed to be kind of stuck up on the upper right. So I kind of like the one in OBS suite a little better for that. Although the Filmora is a little easier to use, it seems like, but I do like the way that the OBS is. It's a little more basic, but I think it's also pretty easy to use. So I'm just going to open up this project. Even in Revit Lite, I still tend to open it through the program, although since it doesn't have the collaboration tools, you wouldn't really need to do that in this one. You could just double click and open it in Revit Lite. And here I have my house that I created. So in this video, I want to do a few things. I want to create a few sheets, and then I'm going to create let me just see here. Yeah, I'm going to create a keynote, and I'm going to add the keynote legend, and then I'm going to add a detail to the sheet. I'm going to show you a couple things about detailing. So first off, let's go create a sheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to click on sheet here. I'm going to right click. I don't have to click on it. I just wanted to show you where it was so you could follow. But I'm going to right click on it and I'm going to hit new sheet. And I'm just going to give it a number, sheet number. Or I'm going to pick the right title block. So this is the right title block. It's just the out of the box Autodesk title block. And here I'm going to click on here. It's unnamed, so I'm going to give it a name, and let's call this one cover. And it's going to be, this is for a house, so I'm going to do it differently the way we usually do it. But I'm going to call it A1. And here you go. You can see that the cover came in there, and there's A1. Maybe I'll change this to be all caps. And you can see it updated also here. So if I change something in, this is a label. If I change the label here, it's going to update it throughout the project. It's like this. This is sheet specific. This is going to be project specific. This is just going to be a test project. And this is JB. So there we go. And I'm going to create another sheet. Now see this label, this is A1. Let's see what happens when we start a second sheet. And that title block is okay. Now this, see, it automatically labeled it as A2, and the test is there, and JB is there. It's the same owner, and this, in your case, it would be NCDPS, and this would be, for example, Albemarle renovation project. But here it's just an example. So this is going to be the floor plan sheet. Okay, and I'll do one more sheet. Okay, and I'm going to call this one, see this labeled it as A3 now. I'm going to call this one detail. All right. So there we have our 3 sheets. Now let's create the first sheet, the cover sheet. In this case, I'm going to go to the sheet. I'll click this little plus sign here, and you can see the sheets drop down. So I'm going to click on the cover. And so here I have my sheets. I could have also gotten to it this way. And I'll just leave these open. This has along here you can see I have a view open. I have these other sheets open. So let's just leave that sheet up there. Now let's go to the cover sheet. And let's see, I had created a 3D view in here. Here's my 3D view. I'm going to drag the 3D view over to the sheet. Okay. This way, let's see. I'm going to duplicate this view and no title. I'll call it no title. What I'm doing, I'm creating a type of a viewport that has no title. So I duplicated it to create a new kind. And this one, show title. No, I don't want to show the title in this one. Okay. That goes away. And I'm going to give this a name. Let's see. In this case, I'm just going to do it in the sheet, but on the templates that I have set up in the office there, these are all done with labels. So the minute you update this thing here, it automatically updates all the information on the cover sheet. In this case, I'm just doing a cheater cover sheet. So this is just a cheater test one. So let's call this test. Oh, that text is really small. What should we do about that? Well, let's change the text and give it a one. Let's make that be. I'm going to make it be 2-inch high text. So what do I have to do about that? Well, it's the same thing I did with the views. I'm going to edit the type. So I'm going to duplicate. See, the family is text, and this is a type. I'm going to duplicate this. I'm going to call it 2-inch text. And I'm going to change this. So this is 2-inch text. I'm going to change the height here to be 2 inches. And I'm going to say, okay, boom. So there I have my cover sheet. Handy dandy cover sheet. Okay, I can come in here and I can put schedules, list the sheets, or other things, but this is just a cheater one, so I'm doing this really quick, so I'm just gonna do that. All right, now I've got my floor plan. How do I get my floor plan onto the sheet? Well, just like you saw the 3D view, I'm gonna basically drag this floor plan. I know it's right there. I'm gonna drag the floor plan to the sheet. Look at that, it doesn't really fit very well, does it? Well, let's change that. I'm gonna go into the view, and then right here, I'm gonna go to the crop region. I want to turn all these things on. So this has the crop region, the annotation crop, and the crop view. So I'm going to turn all those on. Now if I turn this on, you see the first line is the crop line. The second line, the dashed line, is the annotation line. You can actually have the annotation go slightly outside of the view. And these are kind of linked, sort of. So I'm just going to pull it down here. You see, if I get past a certain point, the little elevation things disappear. We're not going to worry about that in this because we're not going to do an elevation page for this little house. Now this one, you see, this has a title. So what I can do, if I just want to move the title around on the view, see if I click the view, it's going to move the title with the view. If I just click on the title, I can move the title. But the title is part of the view. So if I want to adjust the title, I have to click on the view. If that makes any sense. That doesn't make any sense, but whatever. So I've got my title in there, and let's see what it says. I'm going to change this. So how can I change that? It says level 1. I can go right here and I can change it on here, or I can change it on the I should be able to change it here. Let me just think. Yeah, there we go. Here's the thing here. Here we go. Title on sheet. I'm going to make this be floor plan. And there we go. So the level is still level 1. So that's the level that's going to correspond with all of the levels and sections or details or whatever. But here I have the view on the sheet, the title on the sheet. So if I click on that view, it brings up the properties of the view. See, this is the properties palette for the view. So I can change the property of the view to say on the sheet whatever I want it to say. So there we go. Let's see, one clever thing in Revit, you can click on this is an elevation symbol, out of the box elevation. I can make this be round, and I have in the templates in the office. But if you double click on this, see, it takes you to that view. And the way that that is controlled is with this line here, this line that goes through the view. And let's see, let me just see this. Yeah, I can turn on yeah, this is the elevation view. So if I click on these little crop views, see, now it's giving me something different. See, this is giving me this elevation here, the extent of the elevation. I couldn't control that before. Okay, well that's our floor plan view, and here we have it on the floor plan sheet. Now let's go and do a quick detail. So here we have a detail. I'm going to go back to that floor plan view for a second. I'm going to go into the view itself, and I'm just going to create a wall section. So let's go View, Section, and here I'm going to, oh, I'm sorry, View, yeah, and Section, and I'm going to create the wall section. So this is a building section right here. I want wall section, so I'm going to click here and say wall section. I could make a building section, do a few call outs and so forth, and get down to the wall section, but I'm just going to make this be a wall section. So here we go. I'm going to cut a wall section right there, and here you can see it gives me the extent of the section that's showing in there, but I just want to see a very simple detail at the wall. So I'm going to click on that section. You can see here it gives me the entire thing. I just want to see a little bit of the wall. I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to create a detail here. Maybe I'll go ahead and show it. No, I'm going to show just a detail. Now some things we can model in here. So let's look at this detail. And let's see here. So there's our section. Yeah, maybe I will. I'll do this the right way. So let's have our wall section. Our wall section really has to go up to the roof. So let's do it the right way. Okay, there we go. Now really what I really want to look at is the call out here at the foundation. So I'm going to look at the foundation. I'm going to put a call out right in here. Of course, this is in the wrong place. I don't want it to be there, so I'm going to put it up here. And I'll give it a little architectural flair. Okay. And you see this doesn't have really a number, and I've made this be elongated on purpose. Let's go back to the floor plan for a second. And I'm going to put in a foundation here. I'm going to go to structure. Let's see. Wall, structural foundation wall. And let's see. Edit. Let's see. So the width. Okay, I'm just going to put this in here. Okay. And let's see here. Now let's go to the 3D view. And there you can see my footing. I'm going to drop this down. Oh no, let's just leave it there. Oh, let's drop it down. Let's see. Okay, that's correct. Maybe we'll make it a little bigger. Oh. I'm going to get rid of those. Let's see, actually, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go put a foundation wall. Let's see if it's in here. So I'm going to put this foundation wall. I'm just going to call it a generic wall. I'm going to put this at offset. Let's see. The base is going to be, so I'm going to make the base be level 1. The top offset is going to be, let's see, -6 inches or so. Let's just call it that. And then the bottom of this is going to be 3 feet down. Okay. Oh, base offset, oh, is -3 feet. Okay. And I'm going to put this in. New level here. And I'm going to call this level foundation. So I'm going to create similar. And I'm going to come in here and put this in here right here. And we're going to call this this foundation. Okay. Now I'm going to come up here and let's pick, oops, foundation level. And I'm going to put in my foundation. Oops, I got to change the, it's still showing me the view range has to be 2 feet. There we go. I'm going to make the top range 3 feet. There. I'm going to put in the strip footing here. I'm going to footings. And let me go to my 3D view, and there we go. I got a foundation wall with a foundation, and now let me go back to the wall section that we had there. Okay, so I've got my wall section with the footing in there, and let's just adjust this a little bit so it goes all the way up to the top. There we go. All right, so let's click on this this little detail here. Or actually, I'm going to go back out. Now in this section, you'll notice that what am I showing here? How come there's no dirt? Is there anything else missing in there? Well, yeah, there's no slabs. Is this a crawl space or what? Well, the reason it's not showing any dirt is because we don't have a site model that we've developed. And so because we don't have a site model, we don't have a topo, and therefore there's no dirt that's modeled in Revit. So how can we sort of fake in some dirt so that we can get this thing to look right? Well, what we do is we do the same thing like we would do in AutoCAD. We would draw, but we're going to do it in Revit. So in this view, this section view, I've got these model elements, and you can see they look kind of clumsy. And I could go in here and edit all the lines, but I'm just going to do this real quick just so you get the idea. So I go to the Annotate tab, which if you remember, Annotate, I'm just going to draw stuff that's going to show up in this view. It's not creating model elements. So I'm going to draw a region, a filled region, and I can change this later. So all I'm going to do is, and you can see here's the line here is my crop region. So I can draw stuff out of this. It won't show up. So what I'm doing now, I'm creating a crop region for the dirt. And I'm going to do this sort of the architectural way. Okay. And I'm going to finish. There we go. Okay. I've got my crop, but that's the wrong thing. So what am I going to do to get the right sort of hatch? Well, let's see if I have one here for dirt. See, I don't have one for dirt. So what should I do? What I'm going to do is the same thing that I did for the text and other things. I'm going to edit this type. I'm going to duplicate it to create a new type of filled region. I'm going to call it Earth. Okay, and I'm going to change this to be, let's see where we have it, Earth. There we go. See, just that easy. And this is compressed fill, but whatever. We'll just call it, we'll just use it as that. Line weight is 1. Okay. And we'll hit OK. And you can see I have my grade line in here. It's awfully flat, but that's okay. And I'm going to draw a grade line in there. Of course, granted, it's not a modeled element. It's just a, and I'm going to draw this with a wide line. There we go. Okay, and there's my dirt. And let's see, in this case, I want to put in a foundation drain. So what should I do about that? Well, I'm not going to model it, obviously, because it would never show up. Who's going to see a foundation drain? So all I'm going to do, I'm going to create another detailed line. And this is going to be a circle this time. So I'm going to put in a circle. There we go. Still using that, let's see. No, I want to do it a different way. I want to do a filled region, or I'm sorry, a masking region this time. And I'm going to do a circle, and I'll use thin lines, and I'm going to put in the masking region. And say yes. Oh, is it transparent or something? Let's see. Let's see, maybe we need to, bring this to the front. That's what we need to do. No. Let's see. Reason it's not masking it. Oh, it's masking the thing. It's just not masking the line there. That's what it is. Okay. There, so you can see it's masking the thing, but it's not masking the call out line. Okay, so then I'm going to come here and I'm going to put in a line, and I'll do this. It's just eyeballing it. There we go. And there I have my French drain next to the foundation. So that's how you do a detail. I can come in here and I can do a couple keynotes. Let's put a couple keynotes in there. I'm just doing this as an example. This is not actually how I would do the keynote. So you see when I click the keynote and I set the keynote, it brought up, well, let's see what this could be. Let's say wood siding. It brought up this keynote database. So from the keynote database, what I want to do is pick one of the items that's here. So okay, all they have built in here is corrugated steel siding. So I would want to change that later, but that's a different video. So there we go. I'm gonna put in the keynote. Let's put another couple keynotes in there. Now this is set at 8th scale. I don't want the section at 8th scale. I want this at 3/4 scale. There we go. So we have a keynote in there. Let's see, I'm going to change this type to be with a 15-degree arrow with closed filled. Okay. Let's put in one more keynote. Let's see, let's make this be a foundation wall. Let's see. Okay, it's picking the same thing because I've picked the same wall. Let's give it a different wall so it'll pick a different thing. There we go. And let's pick a different wall. It's called concrete, and it's cast in place concrete. Should be 03300. Here we go, structural concrete. Oh, here we go. Okay, it's an 8-inch cast in place concrete wall. All right. So you see what this has. This keynote has the specification number plus a little designator at the end. And as we're going through in the office, we're going to be updating the keynote database to be edited so that some of this can be a little more simplified. Let's put one more database, a couple more keynotes in. Let's see, this is I want to put in a user keynote this time. And I'm going to call this one dirt. Let's see here. Civil. Okay, I'm going to adjust the arrow here. It forces me to pick something in order to keynote it, but if it's a user keynote, I can change that. I can move the arrow. So there I have 3 different keynotes. So let's go and bring in our section. I'll change this to be section. Okay, and I'm going to open up section. And I'm going to drag this section over to it. So there I have my section. Now let's get our keynote legend in here. This is exactly how we would do it in the office. I'm going to go over to View, and I'm going to say Legends and Keynote Legend. And I'm going to say Reference Keynote Legend. Okay, and it has all of those. Filter, and I'm going to say Filter by Sheet. And done. Okay, I'm going to drag this out a little bit. There we go. Okay. And let's drag that over to the sheet. Now, if I have other sheets, you see, I can also have the same keynote legend on other sheets. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to put in a couple of keynotes here. These are going to be different keynotes, obviously. And this will be hollow metal door. Let's see here. Oops. Metal doors. Here we go. Oops. Okay, just a generic one. This one didn't have the designator. Change that. Okay, and click here, and I'm going to do a, let's see here. I just want a 5 3/4. Here we go. All right. And now I'm going to put my keynote legend over here. Here. And you can see on this sheet, there's only one keynote showing up because that's the only thing I put on there. If I go over to the other sheet, there's 3 keynotes showing up because I put 3 keynotes in there. So that's how we had the keynote set up. In a different video, I can do how we set up the sheet keynotes versus the reference keynotes. These are all reference keynotes. I don't think I have that set up on here, but I can do that in a different video. Okay, well, thanks very much, and you can compare this to the other video that's done in Filmora.